trouble. It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, please excuse the background. I am not in my house. I'm not in any of my normal setups. So, just please excuse the Naruto posters in the background. I respect Naruto, but I'm not a Naruto fan like that. But anyway, I got some post-fight reviews to get to from a couple of fights on two different cards. We're getting back to what we know here on True School Sports, which is that boxing, which is them hands. That's what we know. Listen. I put on my video about Austin Trout, his BKFC debut, saying that he beat some MMA guy, because truthfully, I don't know shit about MMA, so I don't know who Diego Sanchez is. So that's what he is to me. Not in a disrespectful manner, just like I don't know Diego Sanchez. So Austin Trout, watching him fight in BKFC, that's me being a casual. This is me going back to being what I know, which is boxing. So let's not waste no more time. There were a couple of cards today. One of them was in the UK, and it featured a guy that I had a chance to watch work in preparation for this fight in Ladbroke Grove's very own David Adeleye. David Adeleye, heavyweight prospect on the come up. He's been under a lot of scrutiny abroad from the boxing world, because let's have it right. David Adeleye is a guy that I think was very fortunate to get out that fight against Kamil Sokolowski with the win. A lot of people thought he lost that fight. And, he's been leaving a lot to be desired. Although his knockout record is good on paper, you look at maybe the way he's been going about it in some of these fights, and he hasn't necessarily, he's left some things to be desired, So he's been out here in America, and I've been exposed to. I've been seeing him in camp at Delray Beach Boxing with guys like Jarrell Miller, Adam Kalnacki, Brandon Glanton, Lawrence Okoli, Benjamin Whitaker. I mean, they had a lot of great bodies in that gym. It was a great camp ran by Sugar Hill Stewart and Coach Theo and all the fine folks there. And obviously, we can't forget about Mr. Greaves, Frank Greaves, his coach, one of his coaches. So, yeah, he had a fight, the biggest fight of his career to date, for the WBO European title, and he took on Dmitry Besus, a guy from the Ukraine who from what I know, the little bit I do know about him, he was a fighter that had competed in multiple sports. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he was undefeated as well. But he hadn't really fought any opposition that we would know about, pretty nondescript opposition. So I feel like he was picked for a reason. But listen, irrespective of the reason he was picked, let's take some time to give David Adeleye his just due and his flowers, because this is a guy that's people have been looking for some progression and some improvement from him, and they were quick to criticize him, so hopefully they're quick to praise as well. He went in there and did what he was supposed to do. Knocked this guy down with a jab in the first round. I mean, when you're knocking guys down with jabs, that lets me know that you are throwing grown man punches with bad intentions and fundamentally sound punches, and he was. And then the knockout was beautiful. I mean, he had this guy, the Ukrainian Dmitry Besus, coming to him, coming forward recklessly with his hands down. And David Adeleye shot a big, sharp, straight right hand to the body. That would have just been enough right there to really get a fighter's attention. But then he followed up with a mean, devastating grown man left hook that ended the fight, and it was beautiful. It was just the way he drew it up. So I would say right now, David Adeleye, he wins the WBO European title. That's gonna push him forward up the ranks and get him into a better position moving forward in the heavyweight division, especially domestically in the UK. And now David Adeleye, I feel like this is the statement victory of his career. His coach, Theo, who I saw at the gym as well, he was very forthcoming about the fact that he feels like David Adeleye is going to be a much more improved fighter as the months go on. And I'm looking forward to it, man, because he's a likable guy, and he works really hard. Been in camp with Fury and whatever. That's what he's known for. But he's trying to carve out his own path in boxing, and it's always good to see a fighter who comes under a lot of scrutiny get over that and channel it into a great performance like this. So shout out to David Adeleye, the WBO European Heavyweight Champion. And listen, when you normally people wouldn't even care about the WBO European Heavyweight Champion, but when you knock out a guy like the way he did and win it in that fashion, it deserves to be talked about. It deserves to be praised. So I'm looking forward to seeing David Adeleye back here in America, back here in South Florida, back here at Delray Beach Boxing to get that world-class work and to fight like the Adonis that God created him as. Because when God was forming David Adeleye in the womb, and he was taking the hammer and he was taking the chisel, you know, he formed an Adonis of a man. And now it's just about boxing. Boxing is not about muscles. It's about, you know, the sweet science and the punching power and the technique. And he's been getting that here in the States. So, you know, at Delray Beach Boxing. So God bless him, and I'm gonna continue covering his career as he goes forward. You know, so there's that. Switching gears, the other card that I had a chance to watch, and I didn't get a chance to watch all of it. Like I watched the main event, and I caught the very, very tail end of one of the fights on the card. But that was the fight, and that was the card, with none other than Adreal Holmes Jr., Flint, Michigan's very own Adreal Holmes Jr. He's a young budding contender. I believe he fights where? Where does he fight? When does he fight? By the way, guys, if I'm a little off, I'm like really tired. It's been a long day, so just please bear with me and watch the video. But now Adreal Holmes, he's a guy that's making some noise as a prospect. You know, he had 12 fights coming into this fight. He was taking on fighter by the name of Villarreal, and Villarreal, from what I gathered on him and from watching the fight, you know, good little fighter. You know, coming from New York, multiple time New York Golden Gloves champion. And I've been hearing and seeing Adreal Holmes' name for a little bit of time now. And tonight was really my first impression of him. You know, tall, long, lanky southpaw. I think he's a smart fighter. You know, because early in the fight, I was a little bored because he was very calculated and, you know, was doing some holding and kind of trying to find his distance. And, you know, it made for some very boring parts of the fight. But then as the fight wore on, and this was actually a positive sign, he began to pick up his pace and throw punches with bad intentions. And this was really getting Villarreal's, you know, attention, right? So Adreal Holmes, I feel like he's gonna be one of these guys. I'm just gonna get out in front of it now. You know, I'm not even sure what weight class he fights in. Adreal Holmes, he's where is he at? Junior middleweight, so he's a 54-pounder. So yeah, like I look at his style and I see a little bit of Chris Bird, I see a little bit of Demetrius Andrade. And if you guys know anything about those two fighters I named, if you're a fighter that fights like those guys, it's always gonna be hard for you at that top level to get the fights when you want to. And I feel like he's going to be one of those high-risk, low-reward guys. And I hate using that word. But he picked up a good win. He showed some boxing IQ. He showed off some speed. He showed off some power. And that's 2 good wins for him in a row. He beats Ismael Villarreal, who was 12-1 coming in. And, you know, that's 2 good wins in a row from him. One against Villarreal. His last one was against Vernon Brown, who's a really tough fighter at 154 as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they move him. And hopefully, you know, he can stay active because he was coming off a layoff. So a good win for Adreal Holmes. And then I didn't get a chance to watch this fight, but I saw the outcome and I was happy with the outcome. You had I want to watch this fight when I get a chance, but you had Edward Vazquez, the guy that fought Raymond Ford and got robbed badly, like horribly, because he beat the piss out of Raymond Ford. And Raymond Ford should have an L on his record, but they gave this kid an L, and or maybe it was a draw, but you know, either way, he didn't get a win that he deserved. And they matched him tonight with a very good fighter, a solid fighter, and Misael Lopez. Misael Lopez, this is a guy that, you know, in the past he beat James Crunch Time Wilkins, who was a good little fighter. And he had been in some good fights on ShoBox. He's a ShoBox vet, you know, a guy that's kind of trying to break his way into you know, the contender part of his career. And it was an even match fight. Both guys had a lot to fight for, and he got the win. So in a way, I feel like Edward Vazquez got some redemption tonight, even though I didn't get a chance to watch the whole fight. Good for him. Good for him. And hopefully he can push on forward and get that Raymond Ford rematch, because Raymond Ford didn't beat him. Raymond Ford did not beat him. And right now I'm a little tired, so I can't remember if it was a draw or if it was a loss. So please correct me. Please bear with me on that one. But Edward Vazquez can really fight. So yeah, man, that's my little take on the cards tonight. You know, David Adeleye picks the WBO European title. Adreal Holmes gets another quality win on his resume, and Edward Vazquez gets the biggest win of his career since the, you know, not getting the win against Raymond Ford that he should have got. You know, so yeah, man, that's the news. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time.
Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.